Now, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has warned that the United States will not allow China to jeopardize the operations of the Panama Canal. He made this statement during a visit to the Central American nation on Tuesday. Speaking alongside Panama's President Jose Raul Mulino, Hegseth said that the Panama Canal faces ongoing threats from China. But the United States and Panama together would take back the canal and keep it open to all nations.
And today, the Panama Canal faces ongoing threats. The United States of America will not allow Communist China or any other country to threaten the canal's operation or integrity.
Hegseth claimed that China's control of critical infrastructure in the canal area gave Beijing the power to conduct spying activities across Panama, making Panama and the United States less secure, less prosperous, and less sovereign.
China-based companies continue to control critical infrastructure in the canal area. That gives China the potential to conduct surveillance activities across Panama. This makes Panama and the United States less secure, less prosperous, and less sovereign. And as President Donald Trump has pointed out, that situation is not acceptable.
Now, the Chinese embassy in Panama issued a statement refuting Hegseth's claim that Beijing interferes in operations of the canal, calling on Washington to halt blackmail and the plundering of Panama and other countries of the region. Hegseth is the second senior U.S. official to visit Panama since President Donald Trump took office in January, vowing to take back the U.S.-built canal to counter what he sees as China's disproportionate influence over the waterway. In Panama City, protesters took to the streets during Pete Hegseth's visit. Demonstrators held signs and shouted slogans against the U.S. Secretary of Defense. The protesters also criticized their president, calling him a traitor and accusing him of giving away their sovereignty and self-determination.
Both Trump, Rubio, and now Pete Hegseth have indicated that they are going to take the canal, and obviously the Panamanian people cannot accept this. And that is why we, a handful of patriots, are on the street today rejecting the presence of the Secretary of War in Panama and repudiating Mulino, the traitor, who behind the people's back is giving away our sovereignty and our self-determination. That's why we are here on the street today.
The United States built the more than century-old canal and handed it over to Panama in 1999. A Hong Kong company called Panama Ports operates two ports at either end of the canal connecting the Atlantic and the Pacific, through which 5% of the global shipping passes. But faced with Trump's repeated threats to seize the canal, Panama has put pressure on C.K. Hutchinson, the parent company of Panama Ports, to pull out of the country. In March, C.K. Hutchinson announced an agreement to sell 43 ports in 23 countries, including its two on a canal, to a group led by giant U.S. asset manager BlackRock for $19 billion in cash. And for more on this, our correspondent Susan Tehrani has sent us this report from New York. Listen to this.
U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced during a visit to Panama that the United States must take back strategic influence of the Panama Canal from China. Now, his statement follows President Trump's recent statements, who said that China has gained too much control through economic and infrastructure investments in the region. Pete Hegseth emphasized the canal's importance for U.S. national security and trade, calling Chinese influence simply unacceptable. Now, while the U.S. says that it has no plans to seize the canal, all of this signals a growing geopolitical pushback against China in Latin America. Panama has not yet officially responded to Hegseth's comments. Susan Tehrani reporting from New York for WION World This Way.
For latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.